support in our region like background on the mechanism of fisheries management for Red Sea kind of heading. This background will be presented by Dr. Manini, please.
So again, good morning everybody. So this presentation is about why we are here all together today, the background of this idea and wish of the coastal countries to establish a regional fisheries management mechanism or agreement or body. So we all agree that what is bringing us together is the fact that the planning and management of marine capture fisheries is there to foster development of sustainable fisheries in order to contribute to the national economic growth of the coastal countries, to the improved livelihoods of the coastal communities, and regional cooperation. And we're going to talk these next 3 days actually, a lot about regional cooperation. So as you know, the oceans and seas of the world have been divided, classified by ecosystem. This is where we are focusing now. That is the large marine ecosystem, Red Sea, and the Gulf of Aden, which is part of the Arabian Sea. I should not tell you because you are very knowledgeable about this region, but we are dealing with a very important, crucial part of the world. 500,000 square kilometers the Red Sea, 400,000 square kilometers the Gulf of Aden. They are defined as very productive ecosystems. The Red Sea has a 2.3 this area is protected in a way or another, including almost 4% of the world coral reefs, which is quite a significant percentage, characterized by high temperatures, surface temperature, and salinity. It is a complex of a specific habitat, reefs, mangrove, seagrass, macroalgal beds, and all these support a very productive system for a quite unique assemblage of species. In fact, the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden are known in all the world for the unique marine and coastal habitats with a very high species diversity, about more than 1,000, actually 1,200 reef species, and I know that you certainly may be able to correct these figures, are known or reported to be present in the Red Sea, large marine ecosystem, and with a percentage between 10-20% are endemic or reported as such to this environment. So let's have now some considerations that are important for us. The most important one, in my opinion, is this, that the most of the countries in this region have been somehow sidelined when it goes to international and sub-regional cooperation for fishery research and management. There has not been much support to develop regional, sub-regional cooperation for fishery research applied to fisheries management compared to other parts of the world. You may agree with us that there is not a real established network of fishery experts in the region, as you have in many other regions. We have in the Arabian Gulf, now through the recovery, we have in the Mediterranean, through the GSCM. There is a poor level of effective control and surveillance, and then this has been facilitating illegal, reported and regulated IUU fishing, and this has been reported by PERSGA as reported by PERSGA in 2000. Then, of course, the human population is growing, in particular along the coast. Tourism is being developed again along the coast. Then there is an increased exploitation of land for oil and gas production. Transport, maritime transport is an issue. All these, of course, are all factors that increase the pressure on these unique ecosystem and fishery systems as we are involved in fisheries. We can also say that the whole fishery management institutional framework needs to be strengthened. Probably is not able to cope with the needs of supporting a modern and sustainable fishery and aquaculture sector. When you go to the basic, the capacity in terms of basic data collection, stock assessment in the region is rather poor compared to other regions. And FAO reported in 2011 that there is a significant risk, if things will continue this way, that a significant overexploitation of some stock and species may take place if it's not already ongoing. These fishery systems are clearly important because they are a source of support, are relevant in terms of socioeconomics for all the coastal countries. It's where, as I said, much of the urban industrial expansion along the coast will take place, and tourism is being developing in some countries. Egypt, where it is hosting us, is a good example. Fisheries, and particularly small-scale fisheries, provide food and employment to thousands of people in the region. Employment, but as well as very valuable animal protein, food. That means food security for coastal community in a region that has some difficulty to produce food. So regional fishery body, you can see in the world there are a number of regional fishery bodies. My colleague this afternoon will detail and explain us a little bit what are the differences. And I don't have a pointer, but when you see our region, you have the recovery, and then apparently there is nothing else. What is the real background to this meeting? It started basically in 2002, when at the regional meeting of PERSGA, the regional organization for the protection of the environment and the Resilience Gulf of Aden, and Dr. Ahmad Khalil is with us, when in the regional meeting of PERSGA was a representative of some coastal country, Egypt, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Somalia, and Djibouti, adopted a resolution to set up a regional commission for the Resilience Gulf of Aden. So it was 12 years ago. After that, Sudan and the Egyptian minister were requested to present an application to the FAO for technical assistance. That was done. The FAO established a task force to support and to follow up the request of the member countries. And the partnership has been established in 2009 with PERSGA as a relevant partner in the region. At the 28th session of the Committee on Fisheries, the Committee on Fisheries and all the member countries adopted a report where you can read that some of the members called for the establishment of a regional fishery body to bring together the coastal state of the Red Sea. The body would promote cooperation and management of sustainable fisheries similar to other regions. Again, the Mediterranean, the Gulf, and the Atlantic, as I say, and as we saw, there are many regional fishery entities in the world. In 2011, we had the first regional intergovernmental meeting, was in Jeddah, and it was to initiate where we really start talking about how to establish a fishery management arrangement or mechanism for the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. In 2013, a first draft of a memorandum of understanding focusing on regional cooperation for the management of fishing and aquaculture in the Sea and Gulf of Aden was drafted, and I understand has been circulated among the member countries of PERSGA for their comment and possible adoption, but we'll learn about this in a moment. In 2014, which is now, Egypt officially requested the FAO to continue and to reiterate its support to this process, the process of establishing a regional fishery body, and to convene a second regional meeting in 2014, which we are doing now. That's the reason why we are attending this meeting. I'm very pleased that we were able to respond to this request from a member country, from Egypt. So our task is what are the possibilities, the option to establish in this part of the world, which is within the red circle, the red single alphabet, an effective regional fisheries management entity for the wealth and the sake of all the coastal country, the fishing community and fish stocks. You know better than me, statistics from the region, they are really very poor. Fishery production is of course different according to the country. Marine aquaculture production is very minimal, excluding Saudi Arabia. And then fishery product trade, excluding Yemen, that is exporting. The most of the other countries, they have negative trade balance, this is the import. Apparent fish consumption, excluding Egypt, as you can see, we have a worldwide fish consumption per person estimated now in 19 kilos per year. And the region is really, the level is very, very low. You can see, excluding Egypt, I mean, these are of course estimates, so they may be wrong, but we are very well below the average world consumption of fish per person per year. These are the nominal statistics that are communicated to the FAO from the member countries, and then you can see the usual pattern of landings increasing up to the last century, and then apparently there is a decline in the landing statistics. It can be due to many issues, maybe due also that there has been heavy exploitation or less effort, I don't know, but this is the picture. And when you see the picture by country, the same pattern is more or less repeated in all countries, and in the last 10 years you either have either a decline or a plateau in the reported statistics. But we know the statistics, I mean, may have significant problem, but certainly it doesn't look like it is a developing fisheries. Very difficult to have figures from the region. You can see on the top figure, just a snapshot of the fishing fleet in the region. As more than 90%, we are not surprised, artisanal, small-scale fisheries. There are industrial units, and in Egypt is reporting also an important recreational fisheries that, of course, in a way or another also affect the stocks that are commercially exploited. You can see the number of people involved in fishery. They are very rough estimated. I don't trust them that much, but certainly we're talking about more than 100,000 fishermen as the primary activity. That means that we are talking about 300,000 to 400,000 persons involved in the fishery sector. So some key elements that you may wish to consider in your discussion, if I may. We all agree, I suppose, that many fishery stocks in the region are shared by the coastal countries. Therefore, fishery resource appraisal and management must be done in a cooperative and coordinated manner. There is no point each country having its own fisheries management scheme. The regional dialogue and mechanism for improved fisheries management and sustainable development of transboundary fishery resource need to be strengthened. There is need for more regional cooperation, regional dialogue, regional networking. If you wish to establish a regional fishery body or management or mechanism, there are some key issues. One is that these bodies are normally intergovernmental fishery organizations or arrangements that can have the authority to establish fishery conservation and management measures. So you have to consider this. You may have an advisory body, but you may have also a body that can have the authority to formulate recommendations to be implemented by the member countries. Then, again, as we know in the world, there is a growing concern about the state of fisheries, and there is a lot of attention being paid to the problem of illegal fishing, IUU fishing, and it is evident that cooperation to regional fishery body may be instrumental to fight the illegal fishing. So, what are the fundamentals to consider, according to us, to establish a regional fishery body? One pillar is cooperation, that has to be guided by overall objective that can be something like the long-term conservation and sustainable use of fish stocks. Then there is to see how to achieve this. The regional fisheries entity or mechanism will have to focus on managing fishing capacity and effort, also to ensure a minimum, a basic data collection and data sharing system, and find a way to use the best available science, even when there is limited science, to make a decision. Decision will have to be taken, and then to review, reconsider, and so on. And then the institutional framework is important to have all these translated into a program. And then you need to have, the regional fishery body need to have a qualified secretariat staff. It needs to have a financial regulation, rules and procedure. When there's a community of states working together, you need to set up this kind of a system, a reference system, to have appropriate financial resources, a minimum. I mean, it's impossible to establish a regional entity without resources, to have a clear priorities established, and to look into how all coastal countries, member countries, will have to finance and support the regional fishery commission according to the certain criteria and the possibilities of each country. So, and Chair, I'm concluding, what are the elements of concern and risk? There may be, and in my opinion, there is a weak government support to the fishery sector. There will be a critical role of those of you who will act as a national focal point to network with the other countries and with the Secretariat of your Commission. There may be a lack of consensus and sharing of the common goal towards coherent regional fishery management approach and strategy. The different members may have different ideas. To strengthen the institutional capacity that needs to be done is a slow process. Very difficult to have it from morning to evening. It's a lot, and it calls for a lot of investment. Then we know that there may be geopolitical and logistical complexity in the region that we have to be given due consideration. So, and I'm concluding, this current regional consultation is, to my record, the third brainstorming opportunity to consult the countries and the relevant stakeholders on the establishment of a regional fishery body arrangement for the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. So it's already a third meeting of this kind. And this meeting should consider, probably, again, agree on the vision for the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden sustainable fishery and mariculture development, clarify what are the expectations from the establishment of a regional fishery body or arrangement, what is the commitment of each member country to the establishment and support of this regional cooperation network, regional mechanism, and if I may, I think you have to look into and decide how to ensure an effective follow-up, because I don't think that after this third meeting there may be many other meetings to repeat what we all know since about 10 years. Thank you, Chair.
Presentation, and now I open the floor for any intervention, discussion, any question. Okay, so then.
Thank you, Chair. Let us talk pragmatically. We are in need for establishing body for regional fisheries body for the sustainability of the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, because as we know that the depletion of the natural resources in the world, so that we have to conserve our resources in Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, and we have first to combat the IUU fishing, and also we have to share between the countries, and also we have to share the information, so that also we have to concentrate on the research and the study and the stock assessment in this area. So that in this area, or in Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, we have to capacitate it all fishermen or the fisheries officers in this area, so that we have to make a coherent one voice for the sustainability of these important resources in this area. Thank you.
In addition to just have from the speaker some examples of some regionals, coordinations in other areas of the world, and how they do it, and what are the visions and the messages that we can learn about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, certainly sharing knowledge, effort is the key word. And yeah, in the afternoon, a colleague of the Secretariat, Dr. Camilleri, will make an overview of different regional fishery management entities with some example about how they work and the way that they perform. So
السعودية.
شكرا سيادة الرئيس. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نشكر سيادة الرئيس على حسن إدارة الجلسة، وكذلك الدكتور منيني على العرض الشيق اللي قدمه حيال أفكارنا إنشاء كيان يعني في تنظيم إدارة المصائد، خصوصا نحن نتشارك في البحر الأحمر وخليج عدن في موقع حساس وتنوع احيائي فريد، وتواجد حدود 4% من الشعاب المرجانيه في مستوى العالم في هذه المنطقه، وكذلك التطور المستقبلي المتوقع لمجال الاستزراع المائي، خصوصا في مجال الأقفاص العائمه لبعض الدول في هذه المناطق، مثلا المملكة العربية السعودية الآن مقبلة على طفرة في مجال استخدام الأقفاص العائمة لتأمين سد الفجوة الغذائية في المملكة العربية السعودية وكذلك على مستوى العالم، بهدف يصل إلى حدود 700 ألف طن فقط في البحر الأحمر في حلول عام 2029. لدينا قناعة كاملة نحن في المملكة العربية السعودية على أن دعوة مصر الكريمة بسرعة الوصول إلى كيان يعني في مسؤولياته تجاه الإدارة المستدامة للمصايد في خليج عدن، نعي في المملكة العربية السعودية وجود تباين في فترات حظر الصيد بين هذه الدول، كذلك نعي تماما وجود بعض الأنواع المسموحة في دول معينة صيدها، وكذلك دول لا تسمح بهذه الأنواع. نعي كثيرا أن الضرورة القصوى للإدارة الرشيدة لهذا الريجن، لهذه المنطقة، أن نحن في مستقبل واحد بالنسبة للبحر الأحمر وخليج عدن. نؤمل كثيرا على الدعم الفني والتقني لمنظمة الأغذية والزراعة الفاو. نأمل كثيرا من الأخوان المشاركين والفاعلين في مجال إدارة المصايد والاستزراع الموجودين حاليا، الذي أعرف بعضهم من فترة طويلة، أن نصل إلى فعلا حلول سريعة وعاجلة لإيجاد هذا الكيان، وإن شاء الله أن الدفة تدار بشكل نصل إلى الهدف المنشود لهذا اللقاء والاجتماع التشاوري إن شاء الله.
شكرا. السعودية العربية حقيقة السعودية كما رأينا في عرض الدكتور منيني الدولة الوحيدة على حوض البحر الأحمر التي قطعت شوط في موضوع الاستزراع البحري. كما رأيت في بلغ الإنتاج والاستزراع البحري أكثر من 22,000 طن، أما باقي الدول لم تبدأ هذا النشاط بعد حتى هذه اللحظة. كما أنه لمس نقطة غاية في الأهمية، وهي الاختلاف في إدارتنا للمصايد، فنجد أحد الأنواع ممنوع صيده في أحد البلدان، وفي بلدان أخرى مسموح بصيده. فهذه الممارسات قد تؤدي إلى أن الجهود التي تبذلها أحد الدول تدمرها الدولة الأخرى. لذلك فهناك ضرورة، أصبحت ضرورة حتمية أن تكون إدارتنا للبحر الأحمر لابد أن تكون إدارة مشتركة نتفق فيها جميعا على خطوط واحدة نسير عليها. شكرا للسعودية العربية على هذه المداخلة. السودان.
I want to add also the conservation of the ecosystem, because now the ecosystem is subjected to many negative impact, including shipping or deep trawling or mining, or the conservation of the ecosystem means the conservation of the fisheries or sustainability of the fisheries in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden.
شكرا. واضح من مداخلات السادة العلماء طموح الكبير للبدء، ولكننا ما زلنا في المرحلة الأولى، وهي لابد أن تتوافر الرغبة لدى الدول في بداية في إنشاء هذا الكيان الإقليمي. بعد هذه الخطوة الأولى سيكون هناك تداولات مع كل المستفيدين لوضع الأسس لهذه الإدارة. شكرا. الآن أعتقد ليس هناك أي مداخلات أخرى. ننتقل إلى النقطة الثانية على جدول الأعمال، وأدعو الدكتور أحمد برسكة ليقدم لنا الكرنت بروجريس وما تم إنجازه في موضوع الإدارة المشتركة للبحر الأحمر وخليج عدن من قبل منظمة برسكة.
السلام عليكم. My name is Ahmed Khalil. I am coordinator of Living Marine Resource, Regional Living Marine Resource Program as a regional organization for the conservation of the environment, the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Acronym BERSCA. So first I would like to thank the organizer and special staff. Yeah, because of his particular and support. His support for pushing the process, strengthening or establishing a mechanism for regional cooperation in fisheries and partnership, strong partnership with persons this regard. So, and I also to thank him for his presentation because he elaborated much of what I wanted to say also. So I don't know how to whole presentation. Is that problem? It's different here. Yeah. Thank you. I will provide a short presentation outlining. I will give, first of all, I will give brief background about Persiga and its Living Marine Resources program. And I have heard also some suggestions about working conservation, and probably Persiga is not well known for some of the participants. So I will also talk about Persiga Living Marine Resources programs, activities, and our regional approach and partnership with FAO to establish regional mechanism for cooperation in fishery management, and what is the framework, the current framework of living marine resources in Jeddah Convention. It's a regional convention, and it is attached and derived protocols and action plans. And the regional meeting initiate establishment of the RSGA, Red Sea and Gulf of Aden regional mechanism for cooperation in fisheries. And the steps taken after this meeting, the task force work on developing the regional MOU concerning cooperation in management of fisheries and development of agriculture. For those about Persiga, Persiga is a regional organization concerned with conservation and sustainable management of living resources or marine resources in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. And member states are Djibouti, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The headquarters is in Jeddah. The legal background or framework is Jeddah Convention, and Jeddah, and we have also regional protocols attached. A regional protocol is attached to Jeddah Convention, and then we have also other protocols concerning biodiversity conservation and protection from land resources, pollution from land resources, signed in 2005. The Jeddah Convention was signed since 1982, and the regional action plan was developed in the same year. The regional action plan has major objectives: assessment of coastal marine environment, guidelines for sustainable resource management, and here we meet with the living marine resources and provide legal base for cooperative efforts and support integrated institutional mechanisms and capacities. So we have now a number of core programs or specialized programs. The Living Marine Resources program is one of these programs. We have Biodiversity and Marine Protected Area program, Regional Monitoring program, Land-Based Activities program, Marine Pollution program, and Climate Change program. And there are some cross-cutting supportive programs, mainly the environmental awareness and education program. We have annual training program and information system, regular information system, and we have the demonstration activities program. And this supportive program help or assist in implementing the other core programs. As said by Dr. Manini, the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden has unique marine biodiversity and living resources. So the key ecosystem, tropical ecosystem, are all represented in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, and they represent a rich resource base for living marine resources. For the wild coral reef distribution, the Red Sea is unique in the coral world. The Red Sea represents only 0.2% of the world ocean, but it supports 6% of the coral reef around the world, according to more recent data, not 4%. Also, the region support mangroves, seagrass, and salt marsh, rich habitats of such key habitats of tropical coast. The Red Sea is known for its important as a repository for marine biodiversity, and also it's characterized by the high percentage of endemic species, and also high species richness. For example, for some groups like polychaetes, for example, we have more than 560 species, and compared to other surrounding seas like the Arabian Seas, we have much less species. The Gulf of Aden is one of the richest water bodies for fisheries, because it is an area of upwelling and it has very high productivity. Some endemism in the Red Sea is very high, and for some groups, we have 90% of the members of the group are endemic. Like butterfly fishes, we have 50% of the butterfly fishes in the Red Sea are endemic. So endemism is very high. In general, we have more than 30% of the fauna of the Red Sea are endemic to the Red Sea. The value of the resource also has been highlighted by Piero. We have the fishery value. The value of the fishery. So the fishery, the landings has been increasing from the region, and also the resource, the biodiversity is important for coastal and diving tourism, and for example in Egypt it's very important resource. The Red Sea resources are very important for tourism and also for navigation and protection of ports. The Red Sea is very rich in coral reef, and we have many barrier reefs, and almost all important ports of the Red Sea are protected by coral reefs. So the coral reefs are very important for navigation, and the Red Sea is very important passage for shipping and navigation and so on. Also, we have for mangroves, seagrass. We have also the carbon sequestration and storage is also blue carbon in the Red Sea is also now can be valued. BERSI has made some broad assessments of the status of living marine resources in 2001, 2006, and 2011. And also through the Living Marine Resources program, I've done also some specific assessments for some groups like elasmobranchs and ornamental fishes and invertebrates in the southern Red Sea and sea cucumber fisheries in Yemen. And some guidelines was also produced for management. For capacity building, BERSI holds annual training program, and besides other seeds, marine protected areas, pollution, and other conservation topics or concerns, we have also capacity building workshops on management of living resources. So we have till now around 10-11 workshops focusing in identification and stock assessment for elasmobranchs and evaluating status of ornamental fishes, environmentally friendly agriculture, and fish stock assessment, ecosystem approach to fisheries. We held two training workshops on ecosystem approach to fisheries in 2009 and 2011, and also combating IUU fishing. Training workshop was in 2012, and also we had held several regional meetings to encourage regional cooperation and coordination. Basic activities also addressing key marine ecosystem important for LMR through other programs, the biodiversity program and the marine protected area program. There have been many activities in this regard. Basic has developed standard survey methods for the key habitats and established regular survey and assessment program since 2003. And also basic regional and national status reports for the key habitats was developed, and regional action plan for conservation, specific action plans for coral reefs, for mangroves, for seagrass beds, and for important other important species group like marine mammals and seabirds were also developed, and also national action plans we have developed. And also there have been some demonstration activities in the countries. A regional network of marine protected area was established through the regional protocol in 2005. And also these protected areas are important for fisheries, as you know. Some of these protected areas are now declared and developed management plan. Basically carrying follow-up interventions such as capacity building, regional coordinating to assist in developing capacities for management of marine protected areas. The main barriers identified by Bersiga for fisheries or management of living marine resources through the comprehensive assessments done. Overexploitation of some stocks, destruction of spawning nursery and feeding grounds, inadequate legislation, resource management, and in conjunction also with weak enforcement and compliance. And there is also IU fishing, inadequate capacities and weak monitoring, control, and surveillance systems, the lack of updated stock assessments, and incomplete fisheries statistics, and feedback to management process, uncontrolled impacts from land-based and sea-based activities, lack of ecosystem-based management approach, and regional cooperation and management of transboundary species is lacking. The decline in the catch trends has been presented or elaborated by Dr. Manini, and also some studies also indicate decline of fish stocks since maybe 2000. We don't have more developing fisheries, either fully exploited, and also the stocks that are overexploited and got collapsed are the percentage of these stocks are increasing. This is also indicated in the catch biomass. We have some stocks or some catches are from overexploited and collapsed fisheries, and we don't have more developing fisheries. Mostly are fully exploited fisheries. The catch trends, I think more recent data was presented by Dr. Marini. when we come to the current LMR framework or the available framework for regional cooperation through the convention and the protocols. The action plan attached with the Regional Delta Convention in paragraph 12 has called for assessment of factors relevant to the ecology of the region and to the exploitation of its living resources, and such as biology of coral reefs and marine species, especially those of commercial importance, and the stock assessment, plankton and productivity, and cooperation in this regard. And the component 2 of the action plan, which concerns environmental management, called that or requests that the following cooperative programs relevant to the management of regional environmental problems stemming from national development activities should be undertaken. A rational exploitation and management of marine living resources on a sustainable basis, and establishment of MAS. A protocol was developed to provide framework for regional network of MBAs in the region in 2005. This protocol in Article 4.2 requests the contracting parties to take all appropriate measures to adopt strategies, plans, and programs for the conservation of biodiversity and sustainable use of management of marine resources and coastal biological resources. Article 6 also requests parties to provide periodical list of aquatic species of commercial and or cultural value. And Article 7 also requests contracting parties to maintain sustainable fisheries and sustainable populations of other harvested species. So by adopting as appropriate regional and national fisheries policies and plans. And also contracting parties shall make every effort to safeguard the habitats of certain species and species of economic and cultural importance. This framework was actually not adequate as was the vision of Bersiga to implement the ecosystem-based management that should integrate efforts of living resource management with environmental conservation and protection. So we cooperated with FAO, we established partnership, and also the Council of Bersiga in 2011 requested Bersiga to develop a regional framework, memorandum of understanding, or a kind of protocol for cooperation and coordination in fisheries management in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Particularly cooperation in implementing responsible fisheries and ecosystem-based management. Combating overfishing and reduction of negative impacts of fisheries on biodiversity and marine environment. And also the Council requests Bersiga to continue or to establish, to continue strengthening established partnership with FAO with the aim of strengthening regional coordination and conservation mechanism for sustainable management of marine fisheries in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. In collaboration with the full support of FAO, we held the regional meeting, the first regional meeting in Jeddah for establishment of regional mechanism for cooperation of Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. And this was in November 2011, and the regional meeting included representative delegates of the fisheries management authorities in the member states. Basically, member states were attending. The meeting recommended establishment of task group to develop some sort of legal framework to facilitate or for regional mechanism for cooperation between the countries. So the task force was formed in 2012, and they worked to develop a memorandum of understanding concerning regional cooperation in management of fisheries and aquaculture in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. And you are provided with copies of this. We have Arabic copy and English copy, and we have also French copy if somebody needs French. So this memorandum of understanding draft was developed and reviewed by the task force in the regional meeting held at Bersiga in Jeddah in February 2013. Then this draft was prepared in 3 versions of, as I said, and it was sent to the member states since mid last year to collect their views and remarks. So far we have received remarks from 1 country, and its MOU's draft is still under review by other countries. The finalization of this MOU and it is deposited for signature by the member state is pending to receiving the country's views and remarks and production of the final version. We are very optimistic. We'll be waiting. And that means it is under study, and we'll have rich remarks, and we'll have good guidance and recommendations from the countries. When this MOU is adopted, it will be considered as integral part of the regional legislation already established, the Gateway Convention, and Bersiga will be therefore mandated to provide regional coordination and technical support for the implementation of this MOU. The MOU, you have a copy, includes about 7 parts, general provisions, and part 2 is concerning regional data and statistics, and part 3, management measures concerning fisheries and agriculture, and also other parts. In general, the MOU has considered mostly the principles of the Code of Conduct for Responsible Fisheries, and it's meant to assist countries technically and provide forum for regional cooperation to attain the objectives of the FAO conduct, as well as other agreements or conventions towards the countries are parties, like the Convention of Biological Biodiversity. So currently we are also starting a project implemented by the World Bank and executed by Bersiga. It is funded. This project we just launched it in March 2014. Component 2 of the project is concerned with strengthening coastal communities using incentives or incentive approach to improve fisheries management and achieve other marine resource benefits. So this component will have activities that focus on review of an assessment of current laws strategies and policies for fisheries. And it will include also capacity building or fishery groups or fishing groups and cooperatives, and some projects to improve livelihood activities and development and benefits from the living marine resources, other options. So thank you very much, and sorry for the lengthy presentation, because I wanted to reflect our current situation regarding this.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. As we saw, there is too many activity carried by BERSIC, and most of this activity focusing on environmental aspects. But the last memorandum of understanding completely focusing on fisheries management.